And welcome to Debate 4-on-1. Thank you so much for making time for the program. With just a few days to wrap up the year 2015. Who knew that we'll be getting this particular far? Many thanks to the God Almighty for reaching us this far. Of course, if you've been eating the nyama chomas, remember January is here. There's school fees to be paid. And of course, other responsibilities to be catered for. So, enjoy responsibly. My name, as always, is Eugene Anangwe. Ijambo Toastmasters on Twitter have said they'll be watching Debate 4-on-1. We're looking forward to reading your tweets later on in the program. So if you want to be part of this conversation that we're going to be having tonight, start tweeting us at Debate 4-on-1. That's the Twitter handle. You can use the hashtag Debate 4-on-1 or tweet me directly at Eugene Anangwe. What we'll be talking about tonight, we're talking about the issue of agriculture and the youth. My panelists on the program will inspire you. They'll let you understand that young people can definitely deal with the issue of youth unemployment by focusing on agriculture. Let me introduce them right here on the program. We have Matthias Kavara from MyScore Limited. Thank you for joining us on Debate 4-on-1.
Thank you for inviting us.
On the other end is none other than Anna Peter from Gashora Gold. Welcome to Debate 4-on-1.
Thank you.
Of course, with Sandrine as well, who's from Gashora Gold. Thank you for joining us on Debate 4-on-1.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. And of course, we have the man himself with the name of the day today, Monday. Thank you for joining us on Debate 4-on-1.
Thank you.
All right. So, all the four of you have participated in the business innovation competition, of course, in line with agriculture and specifically on, horticulture. And of course, it's important for us to understand how that was important for you as young people, because we all understand that some young people really don't feel like getting involved in agriculture. Sandrine, why put your feet and hands in agriculture, yet you have other fun or more fun things to do? Talk to us.
Well, dear, I don't see a fun reason than putting your hands in agriculture. Well, to be honest, I have a particular interest in agriculture because, most of the times people tend to solve problems, but not necessarily the roots. So as you see, the World Bank says 73% of the country depends on agriculture. And we tend to solve, problems like family planning and others. Not that they're not important, but really there's always a root problem. And that is where most of the population of the country has their lives depending on, and that is in agriculture. So why not work on the root instead of having to fight with the consequences? And
this is what you aim to do at Agro, the Gashora Gold. Awesome. Monday, why agriculture? Yet we can, go out there and do other things, IT and stuff.
Yeah, for me, actually, agriculture is like my passion. And it's a profession of mine because I did agriculture during my university studies. So after completing the university studies, I didn't go looking for the jobs and what and what. I had the friends of mine, so we sat together and we decided to start our own company. So the company nowadays is dealing with the production of agricultural inputs, seedlings production. Because today in Rwanda we have the problem of agricultural inputs. The productivity is still low because the inputs are low. So we normally import the inputs from Kenya and other African countries. So doing agriculture today is a business like any other business. So we are doing it in a professional way. So it's our passion, it's our profession. Having done agriculture in my university studies encouraged me to deal with it, even to do my master's, my PhD. It's in my channel. It's a channel that I would like to pass through.
It runs in your blood.
Yeah.
Matthias, talk to me about yourself in terms of getting interested in agriculture. The two of you, you say you're university graduates, not employed by someone, but you have created a company for yourselves, agriculture-based, and you're earning your money.
Yes. And I think why I'm interested in agriculture, it's because it's the starting point of everything. We are here because we have eaten in the morning. Everybody is there because they have eaten. And now we're in a festive season. Everybody is enjoying because he's sharing food, drinks with someone. That's the product of agriculture. And I don't see why we must not be interested or emphasize on agriculture.
On agriculture.
Yeah.
Anna Peter, you are still, not yet graduated from secondary school, and you already own a company. Talk to us a bit about that.
Well, so on my side, what interests me like to enter in agriculture sector or agriculture, to be interested in agriculture, is that, okay, on my side, I'm interested in my community, you see. So the best thing which I've seen, which can help me to come and serve my community, is first by being in agriculture. As in, you know, the people around you, like the big community needs like to be fed, you see. Like, you need to be healthy. Like, if you see in our school back there, so we're living in a community where you see like many children lack food, you see. So you see them being not healthy. So what interested me a lot, I sit down and I feel like I want something which will make me come back and help them out. So the big thing which I've seen is by joining in Gashora Gold, our company right now. So by doing that, we sell our products, then after we come back and help our community. So you see, agriculture is not only about going in the field and dig and make yourself dirty, but also it's about thinking and creating and innovating new things which come back and help your community too.
I was once told when I was, you know, still old or young, depending on how you look at me, that it is not good to ask a lady how old they are. How old are you? I'm begging for permission first to ask this.
It's okay. I'm 19 years
19.
old. Yeah.
I mean, what were we doing when we were 19? For those of you who are watching right now, what were you doing when you were 19? Because today's youth already at 19, they are called CEOs. At 19, they are running companies. At 19, they are solving problems. It's a big challenge, but of course, it's good to also understand why is it that most young people, even despite these success stories from young people like you, they still look at agriculture as something that they don't want to get themselves involved in?
So personally, I think that it's not that they actually do not want to get themselves involved in. I, first of all, did not want to do that. I mean, I don't want to spend my holiday in a farm under the sun or spend my summer there, but actually it all goes back to what you want to do in life. It's good I'm spending holidays, but what happens? I'm graduating from high school next year, so what? You know, there's a whole lot of news going on around, and I've got to know that this is my life. Well, I think most of the youth does not pick interest in agriculture because they have a certain mindset that, well, agriculture is all about going to the farm, having, you know, a home garden or something of the sort, but there is actually something deep to that. As Peter was saying, there is getting back to the community. There is doing something you enjoy, like business, and getting back to the community. There is personal and social interest. And looking at the current status of the country, why not join agriculture? So I think it all goes back basically to a mindset of the
mindset.
Youth. Yeah, and
Monday, do you agree? It's mindset.
It's mindset, but it's a passion on the profession as well. Because for me, I take agriculture as the backbone of the country and the backbone of the world. Because people will not live without food. So, and agribusiness is not something that you will wake up in the morning
but there are those who are saying that, you know, people won't live without food, but there are those who will be making this food. Let me sit back, relax, and eat this food.
Now, making the food, that's agriculture, of course. That's agriculture. So it's agriculture. If you started producing food, you are doing agriculture. But it is not that such thing that you have to wake up in the morning and start automatically. You will need to analyze what are you going to do. How is it demanded on the market? Because this agriculture has been being done in the last years in the traditional way. But now people are trying to adapt the modern way of doing agriculture. So it's not something that we wake up in the morning and do. You will have to analyze what is demanded on the market and how to do it.
And how can you offer that solution?
Now, the problem is they fear, most of the young people fear to take the risks. You know, agriculture is very risky. There is this kind of climate change. The market is not feasible, of course. So most of the people, they fear to take the risks in agriculture, and normally the young people, of course. So for those ones who can manage, they benefit much from it.
And those who are scared of taking the risks will always be complaining.
Yeah, will always be complaining. The climate change, the market feasibility, the price fluctuations, and what. So if you stand up and do it, you will be successful. But if you keep on fearing doing it, you end up failing.
You end up failing in the end. For you, I mean, would you advise those who say that, you know, yes, he says that people have to, you need to think of agriculture as, you know, the main backbone, that this is where food comes from. But of course, most young people want to sit back and say, me, I will eat that food. I will not take part in going to out there to produce it. I mean, what would you tell them?
I think that's running away from responsibilities. If you want something and you don't want to take part in making it, so you are running away from responsibilities.
What should you do to them? What would you do to them?
And I would like to tell them that they should look at a right way of transition from our traditional everything, our traditional agriculture, to our civilized world. They should not run away from agriculture, because finally, what shall you eat if you don't want to take part in it?
In agriculture.
So you should participate in making what you want. You want food, you want to drink, so take part, whatever age. If you are young, if you are old, if you are still a baby maybe, and we should start teaching our children why they are baby. That is the root, it's the starting point. You have to eat to do everything.
All right.
Yeah.
But we're not going to send them in the farm to work, yet they're babies. You know, that's child labor,
Yeah,
right? We'll be breaking one rule as we make something else. Anna, talk to me. I mean, on this particular same issue of young people feeling like agriculture is not our place to be.
Well, so like Sandrine has just said, it all comes back to your mindset. Like many youth nowadays think like when you talk about agriculture sector, you just talk about one part, about going to the farm. They don't know that also you can be in agriculture but still be something else. Like maybe you can go in agriculture and be an engineer, or be in agriculture and do business. So it all comes back to the mindset. And two, it all comes back to the family, to your parents. Like parents nowadays, if you tell them that, if they ask you what do you want to be, and be like, well, I want to take agriculture in college, they'll be like, what? I mean, how can you take agriculture? I mean, all they want is you to be a professional, maybe a doctor or an architect, you know. They feel like agriculture doesn't end a thing. You feel like they'll end up being poor and end up being in the farm.
So what you're saying is our parents also have a role to play in ensuring that we pursue our goals and also feel like agriculture is also as important as other careers.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's talk about this plan by, you know, the crafters of Vision 2020, when they said that, you know, we are going to be, we plan by 2020, we plan to, you know, transform our economy from an agriculture-based economy to a knowledge-based economy, an information-based economy. Of course, for young people like you, it's important to understand where you stand on this particular debate. Is this even a debatable thing? Do you think it's a debatable thing, or it's just something that we need to just go ahead, let's do it?
No, it shouldn't be a debatable thing. It's actually obvious. As I was saying earlier, the World Bank says that 73% exactly of the Rwandan population depends on agriculture. And talking about the knowledge-based economy, this is where the people will have to rely on the intellectual capacities. Well, I'm not implying that the Rwandese are not intellectuals enough, but do they have the competence on the outside market? Well, we can all say that they do have the competence when it comes to the agriculture sector, to the agriculture field of the country, because that is where obviously they depend. So I don't see the necessity of moving from the ag-based economy to the knowledge-based economy if you are not sure you're going to rely on that economy. So far we've been doing a great job on relying on the ag-based economy, but how far have they gone with the knowledge-based economy? I mean, it's something obvious. I don't even see the necessity of having to move from the ag-based economy.
So it's not a good thing? Not a good thing at all? What about you, Monday?
Yeah, for me, I agree with Mrs. Sandrine saying that we should adapt our kind of economy, which is agriculture-based. Saying the GDP of the Rwanda, if I can give you the reference of the World Bank 2010, and there is another report of 2011, saying that the agriculture sector in Rwanda contributes 34% to the total GDP of the country, so which means that leaving agriculture sector behind, by then we will not be developing. So adapting the knowledge-based economy, there are some factors we will be neglecting by then. So how many people do we have who are educated? So we are going to leave them behind if we adapt that kind of economy. So we should maintain this agriculture-based, because the Rwanda as a country has been developing since 1990. Using agriculture. So we don't need to shift from agriculture-based to the the knowledge-based.
So you feel it's a risky affair?
Yeah, it is a risky affair on my side.
Do you agree with that?
I don't agree with him, because as I said, agriculture is a starting point, but it's not the final point. We should eat, we should produce, but also should do other things. We should have cars, we should have cameras, we should have other careers. So I think, and if we take examples of other countries, they say that any development is not limited on agriculture, is not limited at eating. You have to evolve and take many people out of agriculture and practice a knowledge-based agriculture. So you have to practice agriculture, yes, but it has not to be the base of your economy.
So what you're saying is Sandrine and Monday are just limiting themselves to eating?
Yes, to eating.
Is this what you're saying?
It's like they will only eat and sit there.
Yes.
So we have to make aircraft. We have to make cars. Who will make them? We have to develop our knowledge and even use that knowledge and information in agriculture, in producing. We should not have that one cow that produces 2 liters of milk. We should have a cow that produces 20 or 40 liters because we have used the knowledge. The knowledge should develop our agriculture and other sectors so the country can be developed.
Peter, you seem to be burning to join in.
I mean, seriously, I agree with him like 100%. So what we're saying, we're not saying that we should leave agriculture behind. What we are saying is, yeah, we can perform agriculture, but still we want the base. What we want the base is that knowledge first, you see. So instead of being dominant, being like in agriculture that much, we should first like educate those farmers to have those skills for them to go back to the farm and do the farming. So what we are saying is we want those farmers to do the agriculture, but we want them first to have the knowledge which helps them to go back to the farm.
Sandrine,
yes, that's what
you don't seem to agree at all.
So not agreeing with you. Yeah. So what we're trying to bring out here is, yes, it's good, we've got to fly, we've got to have, you know, automatic doors and automatic God knows what, but is it worth shifting our economy where 73% or even much of the of the population depends on? Well, you're saying that we have to, you know, equip the farmers with knowledge and all, but we're going to get the natural resources. So, you know, people in Swahili say that pole pole njo mwendo. Now we depend on the agriculture-based economy. That is good. We keep moving that. We do not want to rush and crash, saying we're moving from the ag-based to the knowledge-based economy. What we're saying here is, that's good, we do not have to move, but what we do is we keep developing. As he was saying, from 90 up to now, we've been developing in agriculture. Yeah, hopefully we're going to get to the knowledge-based.
Their argument is that when we say we are moving from an agriculture-based economy to a knowledge-based economy, they tend to feel like the emphasis on agriculture is going to be lower. It's going to be minimal. And the emphasis now is going to be more on the information. This is according to what they're trying to say. Okay. And this, for them, is a risk to the agricultural sector.
I would like to say, we like agriculture, but what we like is not just taking our machines and go on the field. Is what we get out of agriculture. And I say it's not important to have 70–80% of population practicing agriculture. It's good to say that we have people who practice agriculture and who can feed the whole country and even feed the outside countries. If 90% are practicing agriculture and we cannot even feed ourselves enough, it means we are doing an agriculture based on what? And I say we should base our agriculture on knowledge so that we can produce much out of few. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So now, the matter is now time. So if we've been relying on the same kind of economy, which is agriculture-based, and the country has been developing, basing on different reports which were made by different institutions, like the IMF forecast, which stated that Rwanda has been developing since 1999, and the GDP increased by 8%. So the country has been developing. So now you are taking us to another kind of economy. That is a wastage of time, because if we keep on maintaining ours, if we keep on maintaining the kind of economy we have, we are going to aim higher. We are going to develop. So instead of shifting, if we shift today, what about what about tomorrow? So we have to maintain that one we have, so that we can aim higher.
We have to maintain what we have so that we can aim higher. This is
what he's saying is, okay, well, according to my researches, 33% of Rwanda economy is is developing because of agriculture sector, but that is 33, right? That means you tell me the other percent. What is it which makes the country develop?
Well, we have
What is it?
Yeah, we have the
education center.
We have the public and private services.
Exactly.
We have like
those are services. Those are knowledge and information-based sector, right? So what if we develop that?
But we are focusing on the socio-economic impacts being created by such economy. So if you are saying that agriculture-based is contributing 34% to the total GDP, and you are saying that the aircrafts, the applications of the phones and what, investing in ICT infrastructures. So if we keep on investing such amount of money in
I want
ICT
Anna to finish her point. I have a feeling she didn't really mature her point properly.
Yeah, what I was saying is the 33% which agriculture, agriculture add in Rwanda's economy, so we have 33 based in agriculture. So what I really want to say is, instead we have just 33. What if we go and base in the other services you're saying, they should add more efforts, in education, the way you're saying, the education sector. You see, that means we'll be having a lot of percent. We'll be having many percent than the 33. You see, so what we are saying is, we're not saying the country should not perform agriculture at all. What we are saying is, we should, when we are saying we should move, we don't mean moving, but we are saying should work hand in hand. You hear?
What Anna is saying. What Anna is saying is that as the two of you are probably getting it all wrong.
We are worried.
What is worrying you?
Yeah, if you invest such amount of money in education, so you are going to leave some factors behind, like education. The Ministry of Agriculture, you are going to neglect the investment which has been being invested in the sector. So you are going to invest in the
let him finish.
Other sectors like infrastructure and what. So leaving the agriculture behind. So that's the worry we have now. So if you invest such amount of money in agriculture, depending on the way it has been contributing to the GDP, the GDP of the country, so you are going to create much more. That's what I mean. Much more.
Talking of this economic gap, do you really feel that it's a viable point? Do you feel like that really makes sense?
No, there is no economic gap, because what I would like to say, saying that Rwanda has developed from 1994 until now, do you know why? It is because we have reduced the number of population practicing agriculture, and we increased the number of population in service and information departments.
Where did you get that?
Because in 1994, 95% of Rwandan population were practicing agriculture, and now it is 80%. That 15% that was reduced went into service department, and they have increased the GDP of the country. And even, agriculture, 80% population produce 33%, contribute 33%, and the other few, 20%, contribute 67%. And you say we should stick on that agriculture, and that produces...
Are they undermining agriculture? Do you feel this is undermining agriculture?
Definitely.
Why, Sandrine?
You do not realize the role attached to agriculture in the country. You're saying that the statistics are low, but mind you, we're developing. We're not running. We're not rushing up to something. So you said the statistics have reduced of the people practicing agriculture. That is because, of course, we've other sectors. But how profitable have they been? You're saying they've led to 16. That we have the education sector, the health center, the public and private services. But agriculture, my dear, still remains 33% of the economy. Now, lay down to me the statistics of what other fields have shown, so we can decide whether to shift or not from that business.
They want statistics. Anna.
Oh, well, so what I'm getting from them is they're afraid that agriculture sector will be left behind because of changing from agriculture to knowledge-based based economy.
But is this the representation? Is the true representation?
No, that is not it.
Well, I'm just trying to say what you were just saying. I mean,
that's not what we're saying.
He just said that. Monday just said that he's afraid that agriculture will be left behind. But if you see, from the first place, I mean, before even we changed already, people are running away from agriculture. I mean, that is true.
Monday, is that what you said?
No. That's
so can we rewind the tape and just find out if that is what you said?
If I can give you an example of the per capita income of 1994, which was 416, and today it is more than $1,500 US. So it's developing. It's developing since 1994
because
up
of
to date.
agriculture.
Yeah,
because of agriculture, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, tell us. I mean, make us
the contribution of agriculture
tell
in
us
that
streets,
is 33%
what
of the
made you say
GDP.
that way.
it has been contributing a lot to the economy of the country.
33%? Is
So
that a lot?
3%?
No, today it is more than
Not
34.
even a half?
It is 34%.
Okay, 34. Okay, 34.
It is
It's
a
just
third.
34.
Yes.
It is a third
And-
of the total
and-
GDP.
and-
What about other sectors? Why don't you look
Well,
other
they-
sectors which contributed?
You
to
seem
it?
to be very worried, but
Let me give you an example.
Who's the
of
worried one here? Do you think
No,
you're
no,
the
no.
worried
I
one?
think
Yeah,
I
they're
know.
worried.
Are you the worried one?
I mean, what are we worried about?
You need
Well,
other
you're claiming
sectors.
about the contribution of agriculture in the economy, it's 33%, and you seem to be worried about how little it is. But late to me how, if we shift from the ag to the knowledge-based economy, show me how it's going to increase.
Let me show it to you.
You will show
I
us.
told
You will
yes.
show us when we come back from the break. We're going to take a very short breather right about now. And of course, when we come back, we'll be shown how transforming into a knowledge-based economy will improve the GDP of the country. Of course, join the conversation right about now on Twitter at Debate411. Talk to us. Tonight, the youth are debating the issue of the plans to move or to transition from an agriculture-based economy to a knowledge and information-based economy by 2020. That is under the Vision 2020. You can as well share your thoughts based on the conversations and the statements that are coming out of this particular program tonight. Hashtag Debate411. We'll see you in a bit. Stay with us.
So Natasha, are we cornering our teachers? Are we being unfair to them?
At the end of the day, Fiona also mentions that the more you show them this condom, the more you're opening up their minds to having sex. But do you feel well represented? Do you think the media issues are well taken to the table when it comes to advocacy? How do we convince them and say that we shut it down because you exceeded the limit? The word conservation looks just complicated, but how do we simplify this?
What role do our schools play then? And the people around our children, what role can they play in order to avoid these children becoming a menace in the society?
Yes. Caroline, you just want to sound moral, but you're just not accepting the reality on the ground.
Well, I want to sound moral and encourage it and practice it.
This is an EA production.
The Nakumatt Shop and Win Christmas Bonanza is back, and this time it's even better. This festive season, shop for any amount at Nakumatt UTC or Kigali City Tower and win instantly. There are plenty of Nakumatt gift vouchers and other prizes to be won. Shop now, tomorrow, and every day until you win. Merry Christmas from Nakumatt. Nakumatt, you need it. We've got it.
And welcome back. Thank you so much for making time for Debate411. We are here every Monday and Wednesday, 9 p.m. And of course, my name, as always, is Eugene Anangwe. Of course, tonight we're talking about the issue of the youth and agriculture. Why is it that most young people really feel like agriculture is not their place? Can agriculture really substitute the jobs that probably most young people are looking for, those who are unemployed? These are some of the things we're talking about right here on the program. Of course, the plans to transition from an agriculture-based economy to a knowledge-based economy. How good is that, or how bad is that? That is what we're talking about right here on the program. We have Sandrine. Thank you for being with us still on the program. And of course, Monday is also here with us. And none other than, I keep forgetting your name, but you're Matthias. And Anna Peter, thank you so much for still being with us right on the program. Before we went for the break, we were talking about how really we feel as young people about this move to a knowledge-based economy. And of course, all of you pushing and pulling towards your side of the argument on this particular point. But it's important for us to understand how exactly, or what exactly is the problem with this. I mean, because you keep saying that there seems to be a move or an undermining of the agricultural sector if we say that we're going to be focusing more on the knowledge and the information side of the economy? I mean, could you just clarify that?
Yeah, actually, we've been talking about this agriculture-based economy, how much it contributes to the total GDP of the country.
Yes.
So now, the point of GDP, if we say the GDP of the country, the total GDP, how agriculture is contributing to the GDP of the country, we've said that it contributes more than 34%. And our colleagues here are saying that if we keep on investing the amount of money in
yes.
like in industries and the other sectors, we are going now to earn more compared to what we are getting from agriculture. But leaving the GDP and we go to the employment opportunities, we know that now agriculture is contributing like 90% of the total jobs in the country. 80% of the population is engaged in the agriculture sector, and this contributes to 90% of the total labor force in the country. So imagine if we shift from the agriculture and we adapt this knowledge-based economy. So the Africans, the Rwandans we have today, they are not all educated. So if we invest such amount of money in the intellectual activities, so we are going to leave other people behind. We are going to leave our parents, our great parents who are not educated.
Matthias, is this true? I mean, is this a true representation of what you feel about this statement, that moving from an agriculture-based economy to a knowledge-based economy? Is that what really it means?
Apparently, he's supporting my point. He's saying agriculture employs 90% of the population, and that 90% contributes only 33% on the GDP. Is it a good thing? That 90% of the population contributes 33%. It's not good. And before the break, I was saying, I was going to tell them how we could shift from agriculture-based to knowledge-based, and we increase. I would like to tell them that we should practice agriculture based on the knowledge. If we put our knowledge in agriculture,
let him finish. Let him finish.
For example, we're in Africa Connecting Africa conference in Kigali here. President Museveni, the president, said that we should use ICT in agriculture. That's the first thing. If we can use ICT and other services in agriculture, we can multiply the production of agriculture without putting in most of population. I mean, few people, like 2 or 10%, can still produce more than what 90% are producing, ICT. Using knowledge, using information, using ICT.
So how many people are using ICT now in Rwanda? Do you have the statistics?
Yes.
Please, can you give us the clear statistics? Because we should be very realistic on this.
To shift, we shall engage many people in ICT. We shall have like 90% of population. We are moving. We are developing in terms of ICT.
Is that this will take time. To take all this number of people, it might take a lot of time, and therefore probably the energy that was being put in agriculture before might be lost in, emphasizing on the use of ICT and training.
Yeah. So I want first to know, I mean, the energy they're saying, which is being put in agriculture. I want to know what energy is that. I mean, what are they doing? And first, they're saying about how many people now are employed because of agriculture. So it comes back to how much are they paid, you see? So let's see, there are many employers out there. Well, that's what you're saying. No, I mean, I haven't finished. So many people are employed. They're in the agriculture sector, are employed. But how much are they paid? And if you see the educated people, how much are they paid? So compare the two salaries, and you see which one is more rewarding than what you're saying.
So what's the point? What's the point exactly?
So the point is, even if the agriculture sector brings employ many employees and all, but still there is no any profit come back to the people. You see.
So how can that profit be made to go to the people using information as the base?
So when they're educated, because the knowledge-based economy, they'll be educated, right? And they will go back to the farming. You see.
When is that?
When is
even
that?
Now.
I mean, even now,
educated.
He is educated. He is in university. I have many examples. I mean, there are people out there who are studying. I mean, who are, like the way he's saying, he's about to graduate. That means, you see, That means, yeah. So it's
So
in.
Sandrine,
You should use your knowledge
what
you
problem-
get from
but
university.
what about
let's talk to
What
Sandrine.
about our
Let me
parents?
talk to Sandrine here. What problem do you have with the statements that the two
Actually,
of them are
before we
making?
go any further again in the topic, what
Yes.
we're saying, well, as I explained earlier, a knowledge-based economy is an economy where people rely on intellectual capacities, not on human resource and natural resources of the country. So an agriculture-based economy is, of course, the opposite, where we rely on the natural resource and then human input. Now, what I'm asking you to tell me is, show me how you're going to rely on intellectual capacity of the Rwandese population to have to, increase the 33%. And one other thing you're getting twisted is, you're saying we should probably use ICT in agriculture. Mind you, that is already happening, but that does not mean that it's a knowledge-based economy. That means it's an agriculture-based economy, and as we do develop the private and public services, we're applying that in economy, which is good. So we keep applying the ICT and the technology and the intellectual capacity in the agriculture based economy of the country, but that does not mean we have to shift the whole economy to intellectual capacity reliance.
So
That's
you'd love to see a 50-50?
No, that's not what I'm saying.
What would you like to see?
What I'm saying is they're claiming to develop intellectual capacities, but that is nice, really good job, but that does not mean shift the whole economy to have to rely on intellectual capacity.
For information.
So we develop that and we apply that in the agriculture sector, simple stuff.
For her information, but be very kind. She's a lady.
Yeah.
Tell her.
Excuse me, that does not mean I'm not human. Go ahead. please.
Go ahead.
Let me give you an examples, not one.
Go ahead.
Go around the world and look at countries that were developed. They had to shift. My friend, they had to shift. USA, European countries, even those who shifted after, they are still behind of
Are
those
we
who
talking
shifted
about
before.
Brazil, the first distributing country of coffee in the world?
Is Brazil economy
it's
based on
yes,
agriculture?
yes.
No,
Open
they
to
have shifted.
information.
You don't know.
When?
US have shifted.
Statistics, dear.
Yes, in 19...
No, let him finish. Let him
In
finish. He has the
1920s,
floor.
Argentina, Brazil, they all shifted
What
from
are we talking about
agriculture
here?
because India has shifted and they are developing. European countries, US.
Does that
they
mean
have-
Rwanda is going to shift and develop? You're going to
Yes.
compare and contrast US's economy, India's economy to Rwanda's economy.
Where we
why
are
not?
now,
Why
not?
not?
So,
Yes.
Mr. Kavala, do you know what
Let's talk one by one. Let's talk one by
Do-
one.
do you know?
Let's talk one by one, and let's
2008.
have answers to the key
think
questions
I'm
that are
getting
coming.
gathered.
Yes.
There's
We are
a
not
question
answering.
Sandrine is
Yes.
asking,
Yeah.
and is asking, and I mean she's asking and saying, if Brazil and other economies shifted and they succeeded, does that automatically mean that Rwanda can shift and still succeed as they have done?
We're not.
It is because all those who have shifted, they have developed. And I would like to say, Brazil, US, they have been on the point where we are now. Once they had small buildings, they had a big
now they're
land,
big.
and now they're
so
big.
this is automatic. Rwanda shifts, we go.
Well.
No.
We are not saying that we want Rwanda. We're not saying that Rwanda will change and automatically they will just be like Japan
You
or
should have
or
listened to
Brazil.
your
Yeah,
teammates.
I mean, I'm just saying what I think he's thinking.
Yes.
You see, so there's something else here which you avoid to answer.
Yes.
You see, I just asked like the energies which the country is using in agriculture for it to develop. You
Yes.
see, and also, I mean, you are denying it, but still I'm having the feeling that you are afraid that if the country based in knowledge-based economy, the agriculture will be left behind. That's what you are denying. But
Hey,
still,
we
that's
are
what
worried.
is coming
Yes,
up.
we are worried.
The interest and the
You're worried.
investment.
Yes, you're
Yeah.
worried.
Yes.
She said yes,
We're
worried.
talking
But
about
we're
a
saying-
sector where 73% of the Rwandan population depends.
Yeah.
Yes, we are definitely
and
worried.
that
You're
they
worried.
will be jobless.
Exactly.
So what is?
We shall equip them with knowledge. and
When?
we will-
No.
When?
Let me give you.
Even now,
Is that
education is
oh,
going
go
on.
ahead,
I'm
dear.
getting
Go
our
ahead.
children.
And
There
show
is-
me the
Matthias,
guarantee of the success.
Matthias,
of the movement.
Sandrine, let me read a couple of comments already that
Please
are coming
do.
through, of course, so that we also build this conversation and, of course, get interactive out there. Ingabire on Twitter says that a developing economy tends to have high share of the GDP in service, industry, and agriculture in this order, rather than agriculture, industries, and services. This is the argument. And Fabrice Humura on Twitter also says that youth can have passion in agriculture, but government intervention is needed, mostly by increasing budget in agriculture sector. As we move to a knowledge-based economy, do you think this budget will be increased to agriculture sector, or it will be increased in the information and technology
Yeah,
sector?
if we
Is
move
this-
to
is
the
this the worry?
knowledge-based
Yes,
economy, of
yes.
course, it will be reduced
In
because
the
we yeah,
It will not.
because
let's
they
see
will
his
focus
argument.
much on other sectors.
It will.
the industries.
And what is the
ICT.
result?
Let him build up. Let him build up his
Yes.
argument.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now, that's what we have been talking about, that if we shift to the knowledge-based economy,
Yes.
we are going to invest amount of money in other sectors, leaving agriculture behind.
And
So that's what we have been talking
And-
about. And the energy you've been talking about is the interest and the investment that we are investing in the agriculture sector. It's going to be reduced, of course, if we focus much more on the knowledge-based. You are saying about the intellectual capacities. You are going to educate the farmers. You are going to give the trainings. You are going to give what? So
Yes.
how long time are you going to spend
We are already
training the
doing
farmers?
there are people.
We are graduates. I would like to tell him that
Yes.
the budget, I agree with Fabrice that the budget should be increased in agriculture. And in that way, we are all graduates from agriculture. We know how intensive agriculture and extensive agriculture it is. We are practicing now much of extensive, where we invest less money, less knowledge, and we produce less. And if we intensify, we add knowledge, we shall also have to add money. And it is important that the budget must be increased.
Let's talk about
And that we give
where are you
Yes,
going to
yes.
get that?
higher.
Before you come in, I mean, it's important also for us to, because you've kept saying almost throughout the program that their worry is that when we say we're going to move from an agriculture-based economy to a knowledge-based economy,
Yeah.
most of people, especially them, is that we are going to be moving away from agriculture. So can we just probably get from you a proper understanding of what that really means? Like moving from an agriculture-based economy to a knowledge-based economy. What
That's
does
what
that
I've been
really mean?
asking.
Okay, so on my side, what I mean of moving from agriculture-based economy to knowledge-based economy, on my side, I mean that much energy will be put in the knowledge-based economy and less in agriculture-based economy.
There we
That's
go.
what I'm saying, you see? But still, I'm not saying it should be removed like for good, you see? That means much energy will be put in knowledge-based economy. That means people will be, the farmers will be getting more information about what they're doing, you see? And they'll be getting more knowledge of what they're really doing so that they can get more understanding.
So,
That's what
Peter,
I mean.
my question comes here. What is there to lose if we as well put much energy in educating the farmers
Yes.
about the
Yeah,
technologically
okay.
advancing world, not necessarily shifting from the knowledge-based
So
economy?
if you put much energy in agriculture and you neglect the
That's
knowledge.
not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is if you keep equipping the farmers, as we still depend on the agriculture-based economy, what if you keep
how
equipping
do
the
you
farmers
equip
with the
them? How do you
technological
equip them?
skills and all that? Well, how are you going to equip them to move to a knowledge-based economy?
Teaching them.
Through education.
Well,
Yeah.
do that,
Through
but
education.
yeah, do
We
that.
are
but
doing
keep
it.
it-
There is a program.
He has an issue with the
12.
time. He has an issue with
Yeah.
the
The
time,
time.
because he
Yeah,
feels
time.
as this knowledge impaction, rather, for lack of a better word, as we impact this knowledge, we are losing on time on continuing with what we've been doing before. Can we remove that kind of fear
There
from
is
his
what
mind
we
and the
call
people like
gradual
minded?
transition.
Yes.
Gradual transition. You reduce few in agriculture, you put them in service and knowledge-based.
You
few.
reduce you
Yes.
reduce
So
few from agriculture.
yes,
then you put
and
it
we will
in
come
other
on the time when we will
sector. That's
have.
not a big problem.
Now, tell us how it is a problem.
Now, you've reduced the budget of agriculture
No.
and you've invested
I
in
have
other
not.
sectors. So
What
you-
do you mean
what are you
reducing
reducing?
people in agriculture?
What are you reducing?
Reducing the workforce, the labor.
Now, so you are
And you invest in knowledge. You have
of course,
to.
you are undermining the sector, of course.
Which one?
You've reduced the labours.
Undermining is putting knowledge in it? Is it
No,
that
no,
we call you
you've
call
reduced the
undermining?
labours.
Labor unskilled, non-skilled labor. I'm removing them and putting
Now-
skilled people. You want to go there.
Where are you taking this and
You're
skills
removing
people?
them and putting.
Huh?
Where are
You want to remove the
In
unskilled.
service- in service
Now, this is now a big
department
problem
in-
because
yes,
you are going to remove the unskilled people. So
Yes.
where are they going to go?
What happens
That's
to
what I
employment?
told you, gradual transition. Because people
they-
are, our children are studying. There is 11, 12 years basic education. That's the transition that is done.
So there's
gradually.
transition
We're
here.
Yeah.
educating
Can I-
and
so-
we're
Let's hear
You're
from
waiting
let's
for
hear,
my
let's
young
hear from
sister,
Anna.
right?
Yeah,
Let's
so,
hear from you.
thank
Thank you very much. I'm already
Thank
there.
you. To
Let's hear
add
from
on that,
Anna, yes.
he's afraid that will take long. I mean, are you really informed that there are people out there studying I mean, there are people out there graduating right now.
Yes.
You know that, right?
Every
So,
Yes.
you're meaning, yeah,
That
you know
means-
that.
that
It
means-
means that people are starting working right now.
Yeah.
They are working right now.
We are.
I mean, you don't need to wait. You see? There are people still working right now. And when it's reached at the end of the Vision 2020, everything will be changed. I mean, we'll be
Amen.
having...
Amen.
Yes, yeah, amen.
So
Let me,
do you
let-
know-
let-
now,
let me
you
read
are
another
bringing-
comment before you jump in with the question. There's another one, Tunga, on Facebook. Tunga is saying that, of course, the knowledge-based economy is going to affect the agriculture industry positively. This is what she thinks.
Exactly.
And she says, so long as people in the industry are going or doing things they know very well,
Yes.
they will sure increase their productivity
Yes.
and hence the development of the country. For now, about 90% of the population survive on agriculture.
Yeah.
So
No,
the
for
argument
me-
is it will improve the industry
I
positively.
cannot agree because if we keep on focusing on this knowledge-based, we are going to challenge the economy we have today. Now, you've been giving the examples
you
of
satisfied
United
with-
States.
Let him,
No,
let him finish. Let him finish.
no, she has been arguing about what we are talking about.
Yes.
Now, you've been giving the examples of United States and Brazil and Argentina. Do you know what
And
happened?
India.
And
Yeah,
India.
all countries.
No, yes.
Yeah, all countries in the world,
It's
sure.
great. Now I bring in another argument of Japan in 1990, where the economy was constant for several years, and they were practicing the knowledge-based economy. So the interest rate was not increasing at all. It remained 0% for many years, from 1990 and up to 2012. So now, the United States of America, what happened during 2007 and 2008? There was financial crisis, which was very serious.
Caused by shifting from agriculture?
Yeah, they were.
No, it was not.
They are using the knowledge-based economy. They are basing on the
But now
knowledge-based
it is
economy.
stable because they have knowledge.
No,
What if you don't have knowledge?
investing
You
in the
can't
informal
Wait,
goods.
give him time to finish his point.
Yeah, we just wait. I mean, investing in the informal goods, the phone applications, and the other industrial materials which are not productive directly. So if you keep on investing such amount of money in those sectors, you are going to undermine agriculture sector, of course. So this person has been arguing, saying that
It will affect it
will
positively.
affect positively.
Positively, yes. My
Of course,
friend.
it will not. It will
Yeah.
not.
What's the
Because as we have been saying, we are going to shift the energy we have today and invest it in other sectors which are known to contribute much and yet no.
All right. Let's hear from Anna about
Yeah.
that particular argument.
Well,
Comment.
so you are not realizing that we're not going to do that as in like
Yeah.
You see, they are already energy already. They are already using some energy already, like slowly. You see. So what you're dealing, what you are
There is no
complaining
impact
about
for the energy used so far.
Yeah.
There is
so,
impact.
There
I
is,
haven't
yes.
finished.
Let her
Thank you so
finish.
much.
Let her
Yeah.
finish.
So what you're saying, you're looking today, and you're worried that tomorrow it will not happen. You're worried that if it starts changing from today, tomorrow it will reach and we'll end up losing. While you know the Vision 2020, they started putting it how many years ago? They weren't sure that things will happen. You see?
Gradually.
But things are happening.
So it takes
So
time.
how many
It takes
years?
time.
It takes time.
How many
And,
years?
and,
to
and,
reach the
and
Vision
my
2020?
friend here,
As
We are
we-
remaining like 4 years.
Yes.
And the country is developing.
Yes.
Basing
The
on the
country.
World Bank reports.
Yes.
Rwanda is among the fastest growing countries in the world.
we know
Why?
because we have reduced the
And
number
we have
of
been
population
basing
in
on the knowledge,
agriculture.
on agriculture-based economy.
All right. So I'm being told that we
Why do we have
have
to
just a minute to go because we need to
Christ.
really wrap
Oh,
up. But
don't do
it's
that.
really
Don't do
sad.
that.
We need to continue. But of course, let's wrap up with this particular question on or final thoughts on this particular move. Do you really feel, and probably your final arguments on why you really feel it's not a good idea as we go? The move to move from agriculture-based economy to an information-based economy. Very quickly.
Yeah,
One single
actually,
line.
shifting from the agriculture-based economy to the knowledge-based economy, on my side, I cannot accept it because the factors that we've been talking about, the employment, the GDP,
Will
and
be
what,
affected.
Yeah, will be affected.
Sandrine.
So personally, as I was saying, I don't think it's very bad. I mean, it's good developing And I don't think it's a really horrible idea moving from the ag-based to the knowledge-based economy. But my problem is, if you're saying it's going to take time, my question comes in, is the time going to be worth it? Now, guaranteed to me, that was my question all the way, guaranteed to me that if you do that, we're going to have the same results or even better than what we're having in the agriculture sector.
A question that you never got an answer.
No.
Maybe we'll get it off air.
And what I
Very
would like
quickly.
to say is to advise our policymakers to increase knowledge and to increase knowledge in agriculture. That's it.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peter.
So yeah, what I want is like, I am not against agriculture. 100% no. I am not against agriculture. What I'm against is
Let her finish.
yeah. What I'm against is being like your mindset to be like, I just need to farm. I just need to produce food. I don't need other kind of awareness. You see, what I mean is we need knowledge-based economy for us to develop as the way we want, even if how many years remain? 4. I think 4 are so enough to reach that the vision we want, because things have already started. Yeah.
So we need to just be patient and
Yeah,
adapt
to be
slowly.
patient and
Thank you
everything.
so much. It is that time that we need to go. It's the saddest point of the show. But of course, this conversation has to continue on online or even face-to-face when we're walking out of this particular place. All right? Thank you so much for your insights. And of course, all the best in your companies. And keep inspiring others out there. Talk to them. Let them understand that there is hope in agriculture, right?
There is.
Thank you so much. And of course, for you who's been tweeting, Anatole says that thank you, Eugene Anangwe and RBA, for the show on agriculture. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of it. Of course, if you've been watching this show, we also want to say Asante Sana for being a part of it throughout the year. Happy New Year 2016. We'll see you again next time, same place. My name, as always, is Eugene Anangwe. Goodbye for now.
This is an EA production.